Hello, Pokemon trainers! Welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Pokemon Ultra Moon video on iStarly TV. So, I'm sorry, I took a little bit of a break around the holiday season, so I haven't posted for around a month or so, but I am excited to get back into making video content, Pokemon battles, Pokemon videos, maybe other content as well, so stay tuned for that. Again, I do apologize for the kind of unexpected break. But yeah, I'm back, and I'm excited to make this video. So over the break, something that I was doing a lot, I was playing a lot of Pokemon, and the main thing that I was playing was the Battle Tree, and I wanted to get as many wins as I could so I could rack up those battle points. Let me just go ahead and first of all see how many battle points I have. I actually don't know for sure. Sure, I'm not going to teach any Pokemon moves. I have 1,168 battle points. I got pretty much all of that from playing in the battle tree. So I'm going to show you how to get a ton of battle points yourself using a team that I used in the super singles battle tree format, I guess you could call it. So let's go ahead and show proof first of all. I want to see my results. Yes. Super single battle. So I've won 148, let's just see that again. I won 148 wins. Now, unfortunately, I was trying to shoot for 200, and I did end up losing, obviously, so my record was broken at 148, which I think is insanely high. You do get a super rare berry when you get 200 straight wins, so that's my goal. Once I lost, I kind of put it on hold for a while. I was like, I don't want to go back to that for a little while just because, you know, I'm salty that I lost. I have to win 148 more times and then win 52 more times after that to get to 200. But anyways, let's go ahead and show the team that I use. This is the team that I highly recommend now. I did make a video for Pokemon Sun and Moon when those came out, showing the team that I use for that, and that's a really good team. And I would recommend, if you want to kind of just get started, the team that I showed in the other video, I'll post a link at the end of this video. I'll actually post a link in the corner of the screen right here and at the end of this video. That video has done really well, but that's the team that I used in my Sun and Moon game, and I think I got like over 100 wins with it, but obviously this team gets more wins. Now, the thing about this team, let me just show you the Pokemon first. So the team that I use, obviously you're going to choose 3 Pokemon, and then after this I'll maybe show some practice battles. So you have to choose 3 Pokemon. The 3 Pokemon I use are, first of all, Durant with a Choice Scarf. It's a Jolly Durant, and these 4 moves. Now, honestly, you can use any moves you want. The one move that you're gonna need for this, because you notice that this Durant's ability is Truant, which is a terrible ability, but what you're gonna need for the Durant is Entrainment. This move, Entrainment, basically gives the opponent your ability. So that's why we have a Choice Scarf, that's why we have Entrainment, and that's why we have the Truant ability, because our goal here is to give the opponent Truant on the first turn of battle. And then from there, we're taking advantage of them having Truant and sending in a Pokemon that can set up and sweep the rest of their team. Now, because of that, this does take a little while to win a battle, but it's almost always, obviously almost always, a guaranteed way to win a battle in the battle tree. Now, this does get a little more problematic as you get higher on the ladder, but this is, I could say, if you play this right, you're guaranteed to get like 100 wins with this team. It's super easy to get wins. Again, it just takes some time. So for that reason, because we're trying to outspeed the opponent and give them the Truant ability right away, the rest of these moves kind of just don't matter. I mean, to be honest, I think I've only used Iron Head like a couple times out of 148 battles. I can't remember ever using Crunch or X-Scissor in any of my battles, but I have used Iron Head a couple times. So whatever moves you want. I mean, these are the 3 best moves for Durant because they offer coverage and stab. But again, like 95% of the time, you're just going to be using Entrainment, and that's it. Like, that's all you'll need Durant for. But for this strategy to work, you will need a Durant. And basically after that, the last 2 Pokemon you use are really up to you, but they should be Pokemon that can use setup moves, such as, of course, one of my favorite Pokemon because it's so powerful, Salamence-Mega Salamencite is insane. It's got insane bulk, it hits insanely hard, and it's really fast. And so basically, you want a Pokemon, again, that can set up a move, and you also need Protect. So you need Protect a setup move, and then whatever 2 moves you want. Mega Salamence is the best. You could probably just have Durant, Mega Salamence, and like a random Pokemon and still win 150 games, because Mega Salamence can pretty much single-handedly take on opponents pretty much by itself. And so the last sweeper you use is really up to you. I'll show you who I use. But basically the EVs for this, you want to go max HP and max attack. It kind of doesn't matter. I mean, I think you definitely should go max attack. You could go max HP. You could go max speed. The reason I didn't go max speed is because of the fact that I'm using Dragon Dance, which boosts my attack and speed. And so I'm going to have a lot of speed anyway, so I don't need to invest EVs into it. I'd rather invest the EVs into HP so that I can take attacks just in case something goes wrong and my opponent attacks me. And sometimes I will get a little bit greedy and just start setting up Dragon. Because, okay, so here's the goal with this team, basically. And the third Pokemon I use is Volcarona. I'll talk about that in a little bit right now. But the way that this team plays out is turn 1, your opponent sends out a Pokemon, you send out Durant, you use Entrainment on their Pokemon, and they get the Truant ability, which means every single turn, every other turn, they do not attack. So from there, what you do is you switch out Durant into a sweeper, such as Salamence, and then basically on the turns that they're going to loaf around, that they're not going to attack, then you use Dragon Dance, and on the turns that they will attack, you use Protect. And so basically you alternate between Dragon Dance and Protect until you're at +6, until you're at max attack and max speed, and from there it's really easy to just destroy everything. Even though there are Pokemon that resist return, most of the Pokemon that resist return, you know, are weak to Earthquake. You think about Rock types resist return and Steel types resist return. Both of those are weak to Earthquake. Even Pokemon that resist return, if you're at +6 and you're a Mega Salamence, you can probably still one-hit KO Skarmory with return, because that's how insanely powerful you are at +6 with Mega Salamence. So anyways, once again, the goal with this team is to give the opponent Entrainment, or sorry, give them Truant, and then send in a sweeper, and then alternate between Protect and Dragon Dance for every turn that the opponent is loafing around. And then once you're at +6, you just basically spam return and wipe out their entire team. Obviously, there are better ways for this, and so I recommend this team once you're maybe higher in the ladder, because once you're higher in the ladder, it does get a little more tricky, even though if you look at the other video I did, which again will be posted at the end of this video, with Mega Salamence, basically the goal with that team was just to power through the opponent, and that works in the early stages of the battle tree, but once you get higher on, the opponents start employing these kind of complex strategies, and sometimes just plowing through them with a Mega Salamence isn't enough. And so this strategy kind of, like I said, it kind of in some ways guarantees that you'll get some easy wins, because the opponent pretty much won't be able to do anything while you set up to +6. So the third Pokemon is completely up to you. Like I said, I think Mega Salamence is enough to just plow through everything, but I chose Volcarona because I felt like it offers... the reason I have 2 is because I originally used a bold one with max attack and max defense, or sorry, max HP and max defense, but I found that it wasn't really that powerful. There were some games where I would get up to +6 with Quiver Dance, and I still wouldn't one-hit KO some Pokemon, and so I thought just going modest with max HP and max special attack, I ended up breeding a new Volcarona with max HP, max special attack, and that has been a lot better for me. I felt like Volcarona kind of offers what Mega Salamence doesn't. So for example, you know, fire is a good move, a good coverage type. Grass is also very decent. The problem with Volcarona is that there are some Pokemon that just outright wall it, like Heatran, for example. Like, you can't really do anything to Heatran. There was a game where I was at +6 against a Heatran, and I basically spammed Giga Drain. Like, their attacks weren't doing anything to me, but I had to like use like 7 Giga Drains to kill it or something like that. So, you know, Volcarona hasn't been amazing for me, but I felt like it was one of the most powerful special attackers that had access to something like Quiver Dance. I guess something else you could try out is like Gorbis or something, like a water type that has Shell Smash, and then use Shell Smash and then Protect. Maybe I'll actually try that out for my next run. Another Pokemon that I recommend trying is Naganadel. Here's my beautiful shiny Naganadel. And of course you want Protect. Basically with whatever Pokemon you're using, you want it to have Protect, and then a setup move, and then 2 moves of choice. And basically Dragon and Poison are really good coverage types together, only taken on by Steel. But you can probably, at +6, you can probably one-hit KO Steel types with Dragon Pulse, because this Pokemon's really strong. So yeah, I mean that's basically the strategy. Like I said, I mean I'm gonna have to start at the bottom of the ladder again, but I'm gonna show you some examples of how these games should go with this team. Okay, and one final thing, or a couple final points before I show you some example battles, is the first one that'll probably save you quite a lot of time is to turn off battle animations. So go to the options menu, or options section in your menu. Click on options and go to battle effects and make sure you turn them off and confirm it. Because, you know, a lot of these battles end up being kind of mindless. Like all you're doing is just setting up. So they're going to take several turns. And it's going to save you a ton of time if you don't have to see the Quiver Dance animation every single other turn, or the Protect animation every other turn, or etc. Right? So it's going to go a lot faster if you turn off the animations. So you can kind of just keep clicking the buttons and it'll just show the text when you use a move, and that's it. Another pointer is to pay attention to the screen. Like again, these battles might take a long time to do, but they're more guaranteed. They're a lot more reliable to get wins, to get consistent wins. So I would advise to maybe watch some Netflix, watch some YouTube, listen to some podcasts while you're doing this. However, at the same time, make sure you're paying attention to what's going on in the battles. It's happened a few times where I use Earthquake against a Heatran, and I didn't catch that it was holding an air balloon, so my Earthquake fails. So pay attention to that, because that's something I don't think always shows on the bottom screen, what item they're holding. So if you see a Pokemon come out and it says they're holding an air balloon, then you know that it's a good idea to not use Earthquake. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at those battles. Here we go, bottom of the ladder here. I sped it up a little bit, so this is a post-commentary just so that I can get through the battle as quickly as possible. This battle goes by pretty quickly anyway, though. So my opponent leads with Lycanroc. Of course, I lead with Durant, and the first thing we're going to do is use Entrainment on it to pass on the Truant ability so that Lycanroc will only attack every other turn. Alright, so Lycanroc is a good physical attacker, but given that I have Salamence who has Intimidate, it's okay to switch in Salamence. They did use Stealth Rock there, which is a little awkward, but Salamence's Intimidate will make Lycanroc even weaker, so that if for some reason I don't kill it, like if it has Focus Sash or whatever, like they do have Accelerock as you're about to see, so I won't take too much damage from that. So they're loafing around, so this first turn that means they're going to attack me since they just loafed around. So I'm going to use Protect here. I'm going to Mega Evolve and go for Protect. So the Mega Evolve animation is shown regardless of whether you have the battle animations on or off. Do notice again that, like I pointed out, I do have the battle animations off, which is great. And so here my opponent is going to slack off or loaf around, so I'm going to use Dragon Dance. And then now I know they're going to attack me, so I'm going to use Protect. And again, you alternate. Here they're going to loaf around, so I use Dragon Dance. The next turn I know that they're going to attack me, so I use Protect. Keep going until you are at +6. So keep track of your power points for the move Dragon Dance. Once you have 26 out of 32, that means that you've used 6 Dragon Dances, which means you are at +6. Sometimes against weaker Pokemon, you can even get up to like +3 or +4. Sometimes if you're really confident, you don't have to get all the way to +6. You can kind of start sweeping at +3 or +4, but +6 is almost a guaranteed sweep. I mean, again, very few, if any, Pokemon can survive a +6 return from Salamence. So here we are at the final Dragon Dance. As you're about to see, I am at +6. So yeah, see, we're going to view it. We're at +6 now, so we can start sweeping. Just to show how powerful Salamence is, I'm going to use Return, which is a resisted move. It still easily one-hit KOs Lycanroc. My opponent sends out Aerodactyl, who also resists Return, and they are still going to get easily destroyed by it. Finally, they go into Alolan Dugtrio, who yet again resists Return, but I'm not going to go for Earthquake. I'm going to go for Return just to show how powerful it is. So there's yet another win there. And that's how the team plays out. Once again, you use Entrainment turn 1, and then you switch out into your sweeper of choice, and from there you basically just alternate between Protect and your setup move until you're at +3, +4, +6. +6 once again is guaranteed, and you just go from there. One final point that I didn't mention when I talked about Salamence is the reason I'm running Return over Double Edge. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, is of course because Double Edge gives you recoil, and so even though you're going to be plowing, Double Edge hits so much harder, you kind of don't need it, because since you're going to be at a really high attack stat anyway, thanks to Dragon Dance, you're gonna be hitting super hard with Return anyway, and the recoil on Double Edge could end up killing your Salamence before you want it to. Finally, I do have a few kind of tips and tricks for this team just to kind of get you going. For the most part, it is very easy. Again, you just go Entrainment, you switch out, you alternate between Dragon Dance and Protect. It's as simple as that. However, I would say to be careful of opponents who have Protect on their first Pokemon, because if you look at it, if you go for Entrainment and then your opponent uses Protect, then they don't get the Entrainment, and then your next turn, your Durant is slacking off because it has Truant, and then your opponent gets to attack you. So usually they don't go for Protect more than once, so usually by the third turn you're able to use Entrainment on them anyway, but just be mindful of that. Be careful with your Durant. Additionally, there are certain Pokemon, such as mainly Mimikyu, who cannot lose their ability to Entrainment. So if your opponent leads with Mimikyu, use Iron Head with Durant, or switch out or something, because if you try to go for Entrainment on their Mimikyu, it's gonna fail. They're not gonna, because they have the Disguise ability, and at that point you're far behind. So be careful with Mimikyu. If you see a Mimikyu, attack it right away or switch out right away, because it's gonna hurt you. Additionally, be careful with Pokemon that have Focus Sash, the Focus Sash item. So, for example, if you have a Salamence and your opponent has, I don't know, like a Glalie or something like that, and you suspect that they might have Focus Sash, use Protect one more time before you start attacking, so that when you attack them the next time, they will activate Truant, so that you're able to kind of get off 2 attacks in a row. So just be careful with Focus Sash. Try to play around it if you can. Finally, try your best to keep Durant alive. So usually the way it's going to go is you're going to use Entrainment, and then you're going to switch a Durant out. Sometimes, however, your opponent will kill Durant the first turn, which is a good thing, because if Durant dies, you get to go into your sweeper and you get to immediately start setting up, because they'll be on Truant the next turn. Sometimes it's better to keep Durant alive though, because if your sweeper happens to die, you still have a backup sweeper, and you can still go back into Durant and do it all over again, and go for Entrainment, and then switch into your final sweeper and go from there. So just play smart. Like I said, it seems to be the case that earlier in the ladder, the opponents are not that strong. I think if you follow all of these rules, if you follow all of the basic game plan here, you could probably easily get 100 wins, assuming you have a powerful team like this. So yeah, just kind of experiment with it as well. Try different sweepers. I highly recommend Mega Salamence. I don't think there's anything better than Mega Salamence, except maybe Haxorus, but even then, Mega Salamence is more powerful than Haxorus, even though Haxorus has a really high attack stat. So I don't think there are too many things that are stronger than Mega Salamence, but as far as the third or the second sweeper goes, there are probably plenty of Pokemon that are better than Volcarona, so I challenge you to try those out and see which Pokemon end up being better than Volcarona. I'm going to try some out myself. I'm taking a break from Super Singles for a little while though, just because I lost, and I mean, it's so daunting to try to get back to 200 wins after starting from 0. So I'm going to try out some Super Doubles. So stay tuned for that if you're interested in some Doubles gameplay, and also just other Pokemon videos. I still have those Marshadow codes that might be expiring soon, so I'll probably do a giveaway for those pretty soon as well. So if you enjoyed this video, if it helped you out, please leave a like, and also please subscribe for more Pokemon Sun and Moon, Pokemon Ultra Sun, Pokemon Ultra Moon tips and tricks videos such as this one. I'm excited to get back into this. I'll see you all soon. Let me know if you have questions in the comments below, and if you have suggestions, let everyone know in the comments as well. We're excited to see what teams have worked really well for you in the battle tree. Thank you very much.